make sure that you're zoomed in on the artwork so that you can see it well. We're going to select the gray square that's beneath the N1 text. I need you to go next and select the shear tool. The shear tool is nested with the scale tool, so you may see that come up like this. Underneath the scale tool is going to be your shear tool. Position the pointer over the shape, and if you hold your shift key down, which is going to constrain your artwork so that it keeps its original size, if you drag and shear to the side, you're going to make a lovely shear. But we need to have the same shearing applied to both sides, both this rectangle and the one under N3. So we're going to do this with more precision than that. We are going to keep that selected and double click the shear tool. You can now either type in an angle of 170 degrees, or you can click on the circle and you can drag around to get that angle. Either way, let's see, 143, 180, we want 170. And you may find it easier just to type in 170 degrees and hit enter, and it's going to come out perfect. So temporarily selecting your selection tool by holding down your control key, you can select the N3. Or rather the box behind the N3. And again, you're going to double click your shear tool. It's applying the shear that we put in the last time. So in front of that 170, you want to put in a minus sign or just retype minus 170 in there. If you click onto and just, select for whatever we're doing horizontal, that was the default that came up, but you can click off on that text again, and you'll see that the preview is showing, and you're going to see both. If you did not see those, make sure that the preview is selected. Otherwise, you will not see it before you hit enter or select OK. So preview on, and you'll get to see the shear. Say OK to that again. Now, we're going to grab the selection tool and hold down your shift key, pick up the box behind N2 and the box behind N1. Go to Object, and you're going to group all of those. The next thing we would need to do is make a duplicate of this and place it underneath so that we have those same shapes going behind S1, S2, and S3. So to do that, we're going to use the Rotate tool. So if I grab the Rotation tool, I am going to get this lovely little path thing popping up because I have my smart gauge on. So drag to the center of the court below the line indicating the sections on the bleachers. That is path is going to show up on that. Drag down until you get center. That's going to be dead center on here. Click if you place the rotation there, and or click in there. That's going to set the center for your rotation. And next, we're going to option click or alt click, which is, okay, double click on set. There it came up. Should be just a single click, should bring that dialog box up. You are going to type in a rotation of 180 degrees. Whatever your last rotation is going to show on the preview. Now you're going to see the 180 below, hopefully, and I want you to, again, make sure you have preview selected, otherwise you're only going to see this. Select preview, but which shows you what the rotation is. When you hit copy, it's going to put both in the same place. Make sure you save your file at this point. File save. Okay, sounds great. Okay, now we need to select, click to select the object, which is the basketball court, and then select the Free Transform tool. That's this one in the tool panel. After you select that, you're going to get this lovely little widget up here. I'm going to drag this down here so you can see it a little bit better. The Free Transform widget appears, and it can be repositioned, and it contains the options to change how the Free Transform tool works. By default, the Free Transform tool allows you to move, shear, rotate, and scale. By selecting other options like Perspective, Distort, you can change how the tool transforms content. First, we're going to change the width of the selected artwork using the Free Transform tool. Position the pointer over the left middle point of the artwork bounding box, this one. The pointer changes to a cross. It's got arrows going in both directions. You can shear or you can distort. Begin by clicking and dragging to the right. As you drag, press the Option button or the Alt key to change both sides at the same time. You can't drag the artwork up or down. You can only drag in one direction. It's constrained to horizontal by the default. When you get a width of approximately 3.5, 3 3/4, so we're going down 4, 3 point, we want a little bit over 3.5, about 3.75, somewhere in through there, 3 3/4, maybe a hair less. It's not, doesn't matter exact on the measurement. Release the mouse button, then release the key. Now we're going to rotate the Free Transform tool, or using the Free Transform tool, around a specific point. You're going to position the pointer over the lower left corner and double click when you get that weird thing that looks like it's going around a corner or resizing. Double click that. We are changing the reference point to that corner. And now the artwork is going to rotate around it. Hold down your Shift key and drag, click and drag. So press your Shift key down. You're going to click and drag the upper right corner counterclockwise until you see 90 degrees in the measurement label. 45, 90. Okay? Release the mouse button, then release your Shift key. If you find out that when you're trying to rotate your scaling, stop dragging, undo, go to Edit, Undo Scale, and try again. Okay? Just keep working at it and do it slowly and you'll get it. Like the other transform tools, if you hold down the Shift key while you're dragging, with the Free Transform tool, you are going to constrain the movement for most of the transformations. If you don't want to hold down the Shift key, you can constrain the options in the Free Transform widget before beginning to transform it to constrain the movements automatically. After dragging, the constrain option is going to be deselected. Okay? So now position the pointer over the right midpoint of the artwork bounding box over here and drag to the right. Now just click and drag until the measurement show in the dialog box there. So your width shows about 7 3/4 inches wide. 5, 6, 7. Oh, I went a little far. Right about there is good. With the Free Transform tool still selected again, click the Perspective Distort option in the widget. That's this one. Okay? Now, with this, you can drag a corner point of the bounding box to distort the perspective. Perspective is distance. So position the pointer over the upper left corner of the bounding box, and you get a funky, different looking tool look to the pointer. It looks just like the option here onto the pointer. And if I click on that and I drag straight to the right, we're going to pull that in until the court looks like it's going to the back. We're going to make it about the same width as what the original gray rectangle is. Okay, so do that. Great. Now, in the control panel up at the top where it says opacity, we're going to change the opacity. Click and get the slider, or you can type it in and take the opacity down to about 60%. Zoom out. So hold down your control key or your command key and hit your minus a couple of times. Come on, control. Oh, we have to go back to the selection tool. There we go. And now control, minus, minus. And you might actually want to pick up the hand tool by pressing your space bar and drag down a little bit. And now that you have that, with your selection tool, you're going to click on that grouping and drag the artboard up onto the All City board. And we're going to place that similar to what you're seeing here. If the artwork appears and comes up on top of the text, then go to Object, Arrange, and Send to Back until it goes behind the text. It should be fine the way it is. Select the Artboard tool in the Tools panel. The reason we're doing this is partly because the court is coming over the next artboard. And all we need to do is click on this and drag this over. It's going to move everything that's touching that artboard. Whoa, I didn't want to resize it. Control Z, undo. There we go. I just wanted to drag that over so that the artwork was not coming over the next panel. Now, we have all of this taken care of. So we're going to save this artwork. File, save. And the next thing we're going to do is create that PDF again. So click off to deselect everything. And now we're going to go into File. We've just saved. We're going to go again to a Save As, and we're going to save as the PDF. So again, in the Adobe Illustrator, Save as File Type, drop down that and select Adobe PDF and save. We're going to select not Illustrator Default, but Press Quality, and leaving Preserve Illustrator Editing Capabilities selected, select Save PDF. And there is the PDF of my file. And that's going to be the one that you're going to send to me.